Oh, hey, folks. Yep, here I am again. Yes, this is your man, Adolphus A.D. Moore, high top NRG Stadium. Let me pop the music down and let's get to it. Let's get into this. Uh, Texans today over the Denver Broncos, who was riding a hot streak of 5 wins, have won 5 straight games, and that's 5 straight games coming into the stadium real hot. In fact, and this is I had put out a tweet earlier in the week with it, because Russell Wilson came in with the Seattle Seahawks back in December, same time of the year, a couple of years ago, and walked out of here, dancing just as pretty and everything. And with the Denver Broncos being on this hot streak of winning 5 games in a row, wasn't exactly sure how and when and what, because they had a tough game last week. But anyway, the Texans come away with the victory, sealed by the defense at the very end. Jimmy Ward intercepted a Russell Wilson pass in the end zone. And so, folks, hey, your Texans are now 7-5. Think about that. The Houston Texans are 7-5. And if anybody would have told you that Texans would be 7-5 at this time of the year, none of y'all would have believed it. I wouldn't have believed it, and none of y'all have been talking about fool's gold. But tell you what, while we got Elwin on the road, and I know how far I want before we lose him, I want to add him up put him on the screen here, and let's get started. Elwin, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. Your initial comments: Texans win today over the Denver Broncos.
Excited. I really, knowing how good Russell Wilson is in a pinch, I was really concerned when they got the ball back in that just under 2 minute scenario, and I was scared to death we were going to end up just like we did last week, thinking we're going to win and seeing it slip through our hands. But that just goes to show you, with the grit and determination that this defense had, they have matured to the point now that they somehow, some way, are refusing to lose more often than not, and that's an extremely big increase of where we were. As you know, the 7 wins this year equal the total of the last 2 seasons.
Easy. And this season is not even over yet. I mean,
No,
you're better than 60% of the way through the season. But the thing about it, the Texans, I mean, they're literally on the brink of being able to make the playoffs this year. DeMeco's Ryan first
yes,
year, they're literally able to make the playoffs, man. So I mean, let's face it. You and I coming in starting training camp this year with this new regime and everything was, there was some optimism with DeMeco. We
yep,
relatively admit that. I admitted they hired him, and I remember talking to Hannah McNair about D'Amico, and one of the first things I said, well, he has the gravitas. That's the way I explained it. He has the gravitas to come in here and be able to do it, but we have to see it. We can talk about it, but best thing, we got to see it done. And I think we've
yep,
seen the proof is in the pudding. I mean, this team is real. Now
yeah,
they can fall flat on their face the rest of the year. I don't anticipate that, because that's not the way these
no.
guys are structured. But anyway, before we get too far down, let's go hear from our sponsor. Then we want to get back, because we loaded with interviews today, man. So I want to try to get
All
everything
right.
in and get it moving.
Hello, I'm Ken Ross with the Ken Ross Insurance Agency. There are certain things that are important in our lives: our health, our safety, and our loved ones. With over 40 years of experience, I've seen just how important insurance can be. I value the importance of being a part of my community.
Seems like we're gonna have issues again this week.
You're just going to have to get Brother Ken to come on live with us.
Keeps popping in and out. Anyway, we'll get back to him. I tell you what, here's the interview. I want to start off with C.J. Stroud, and in particular, I want
Yeah,
to start off with this particular question that you put to him. And hope let's get this up. I want to, because this is I think I want to. I mentioned that because I was just this kid is just unreal, man.
Yeah.
And then the good things happen. How have you matured so quickly to look like somebody's been in the league 3 or 4 years already?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I don't know. I just like I have a mindset to where like I think like God just puts a sense of peace on me, and I feel like I put the work in the week to like understand. Like even though if it does go on, I mean you gotta look at it. It's the NFL. They're gonna make plays too. It's part of the game. You know, and even for me, it took me a while to adjust to that. In college, like we were better than everybody, so like it is what it was. Like we were just other than when we played Penn State, Tino North, Georgia, like those last surge games, like those were NFL type teams too, players. In college, but like in the league, that's everything. You're playing in Georgia, you're playing in Tino North, you're playing everybody. It's great. For me, I just feel like during the week I don't try to shortcut. I don't shortcut. I try to do everything that I do in my routine to get me back going. And I had a lot of great counsel and advice in the offseason from players in basketball, football, baseball. A lot of people I got to meet over the offseason, which was pretty cool. That like just keep going no matter what. Like don't blink. And for me, it's been a blessing to be able to put games together. And even in something like this, like of course we want some plays back. On every position, including myself, but at the same time, like we got out with a dub, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I wanted to get that in because you and I were sitting next to one another when when CJ. I mean, there were several quotable quotes that I would have liked to gotten in, but I only got But I wanted to get that in because I mean, obviously you part of the show. And that was your question. I obviously wanted to get that in, and we get you there. But your comments after and what was your thought process when you're asking them that question?
Well, I knew, and that came up later, as you know. I knew that as close as he was to Tank Bell, he was probably kind of down, knowing that Tank was going to be out for very possibly the rest of the season. And he's done so well. I mean, and with him being the offensive rookie of the month and the AFC rookie of the month, I just felt like he needed to get a little bit of praise from the media. And I wanted to see also what his answer was going to be as to how, and I had a pretty good idea what he was going to say. And sure enough, he tied it into being blessed by God once again.
Yeah, I mean, and Coach, we got the whole. I got his whole interview, but he had to get it. He was asked prior to your question you posed to him was his thought with missing Tank with Tank like you mentioned it's going to probably be out. He has a fractured fibula. Not sure the full extent of it, but we'll find out later on. But it was interesting that he had to catch himself. It took him a couple of minutes to get his composure, man, to come back. It really did. So and you have to sort of I mean, obviously this is what 22-year-old kid, but I mean there's a bond with him, particularly him and Tank Dell, and the way Tank got hurt. I mean, was with Petrie scored. I mean, Pierce scored, and I'm looking at why is Tank was at the bottom of that pile, man.
Yeah.
And Tank is probably one of the lightest folks out there on the field, and he's in there with a whole bunch of behemoths and a running back under that that weighs 200 and some pounds. Tank weighing 165 pounds with the equipment on, but he's at the bottom of the scrum, man, and got bent over. I mean, it was not a pretty sight to see him get bent over, and I hope he can come back. but it just shows you something about the closeness of this team, and that bond, particularly that bond between C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell. I know just a week ago I was on the Real Deal Sports Show up in Rochester, 105 to beat up there, and the Rad man George Radney. Everybody was because I mentioned to them early at the first part of the season, be prepared, look out for Tank Dell. And everybody was sort of had him on their fantasy team up there. Or at least a lot of them had him on their fantasy team up there. So just to see this kid had a year he's had, the impact that he's come into the league with, and to see it to go out like that. But hey, we just hope everything works out for him and he comes back. But today, as far as this ball game is concerned, the Texans realistically left some meat on the bones.
Oh yeah.
They left some meat on the bones today because it shouldn't have come down to it. It did come down, but the Texans been able to. They left it. In my humble opinion, they left at least 8 points on the off the board on the table. On a couple of field goals. And Amendola, he had kicked 3 field goals today. And I think this speaks to the Texans, because he had got cut at the first part of the week. But obviously, we know what the Texans was up to. I doubt if you're gonna go out there and be able to find another kicker. Yeah, he missed a 58-yard field goal last week that hit the crossbar and bounced back. But the thing about it, they thought they had enough confidence in him, and realistically, he came back today. And last week is last week. This is a new week, and he hit 3 field goals today. And all of them were precious, and all of them were needed.
Yes.
So, every last one of them was needed today. So the difference in the Gout ball game was really Amendola and a lot of the defensive play. Now,
absolutely.
Let's Nico Collins today. In fact, I'm gonna play this and hope it plays right. Nico Collins had a game today that at the half, he had about 4. At the halftime, he had 4 receptions. I think 112 yards. That was most receivers. That's for a whole game. He had in a half. He had he finished the contest 9 receptions, 191 yards. His longest was 57-yard reception. In fact, he had 2 50-plus yard receptions today, and a touchdown. And I think that was sort of the coup de grace there when he got the touchdown today. But he, and he even said himself, and I'm gonna let him explain it to you. But like he even said himself, and I asked him, I said, "Have you ever had a day like this?" He said, "I never had none." But I'm gonna let him say how his day went for him.
7 trusted me, man, and the ball found me, and I made the play when the ball came my way, man. I feel like that's all that mattered, and we got this dub, But I wanted to go out there and just be myself every single play. Just continue to make plays, showing Seven that he can count on me, depend on me, trust him, and made it happen. Continue to trust the offense, continue to trust ourselves, man, and just.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to get him back there, back him up a little bit. Anyway, what Nico was mentioning today, Elton, was the fact that I asked him, well, let me see if keep going. Yep. I asked him. I said, in your whole career, have you ever had a day like that? And I said, professional career, and he just literally said, no. Are you kidding? He said, man. He said this was a day for me. I mean, literally.
Trust ourselves, man, and just went out there and got the win.
See if I can't get him back. Yeah. Let's see if I can't. There we go. Don't look like I'm gonna get him, Elwin, but that's okay.
No, sure
I,
doesn't. That's sad.
but anyway, all right, bring us back. CJ Stroud, let's face it, man. Denver, 5 sacks a day on CJ Stroud. About I think 8 or 9 quarterback hits, and this
Yep.
kid, in fact, he had to lead the field today, but he came back and he showed his resilience by coming back out there, and so I mean, you got to tip your hat to him, man.
You do.
He's tough. He's tough as nails, and you can see, and I want this piece with Shaq Mason, because I wanted to, because Shaq has been the only starting offensive lineman for the Houston Texans that was scheduled to start, has been there every game, and
Right.
that was, in fact, that was one of the questions. I'm hoping it'll play. I can get it to play right, man, because that was one of the questions I asked Shaq about when he saw his quarterback getting accosted. What was that? He said, what the attitude was, and but and I hope this thing plays right, man, because Shaq's response is somewhat funny. But the thing about it, man, they are this is a close ball team. This is a close ball club.
Yes, it is.
And the thing about it that as I stated, in fact, let me see if I can get Shaq to play now, and then we'll see what comes up.
Came to him like y'all was like a SWAT team coming to y'all quarterback's rescue today. You want to talk about that situation that play?
I honestly didn't see exactly what happened, but as I turned around, I saw CJ and the linebacker getting into it, and I saw him, give him a little extra push, a jolt. So I know I instantly just my instincts, man. That's our guy. We had to get him off of him.
Running game not being, a little bit subpar from what y'all been able to do the last couple of weeks, but overall, and the 5 sacks, but y'all were able to, give him that time to do things today that, this kid still amazes everybody, man.
Absolutely, man. He's a remarkable player, man, and we didn't get the run game going how we wanted to, but
Still got some issues to work out there, but anyway, still got. But I think they got the gist of it. And I got
that's part of the NFL, it's part of football, man. Credit to those guys for.
Yeah. Anyway, get back on screen here. But no, man, it's
we made enough plays to win. And
yeah, made enough plays to win. Thanks, Shaq.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey man, I know it's getting dark on you, and I'm because I went back and
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Shaq. Anyway, but anyway, your closing comments, because I know it's dark. You got the light on. You trying to travel down the road, and I don't want the highway patrolman pulling you over, thinking you signaling for somebody on the road there. But go ahead and let's try to wrap it up with you, and then I'll finish up the show.
Well, if they pull me over, we'll put them in the show too, man. We'll just make it a trifecta here. But no, I tell you what, looking back, what you had said earlier is so true about this team. Nobody expected them to be where they are right now. And we talked about this earlier. They realistically could have 2 more wins. They should have beaten Carolina. They should have beaten Atlanta. and they get those 2 wins, and they're 9-3 right now and leading the division. So that's just how close this team is. In the first year of, let's face it, what was considered to be a rebuilding year with a new starting quarterback that was just drafted and a bunch of other rookies that were expected to play a big part, there's no doubt in my mind this team, I said D'Amico would get them in the playoffs by year 2, and I felt like he could get them in a deep playoff run by year 3 or 4. I think they've got a realistic shot to make the playoffs this year as the wild card team. Even if it's the last wild card team, that's tremendous improvement. And I really believe next year, once they've all got a year under their belt and can learn from the losses they did this year that shouldn't have been losses, I think these guys are going to come back in, and I see them making a deep playoff run in 2024.
Yeah, but and it's something it's interesting about you mentioned about the playoffs, and CJ alluded to this. I don't have this cut though, but he alluded to this draft class coming in. He he alluded to that those guys. These are the ones. That's the foundation. They coming in with the express with the express idea. We're gonna lay the foundation. We're gonna make the change around here, and lo and behold, these guys are definitely laying a foundation to be built on. Because one thing about it, you don't build a house from the top down. You build it from the foundation up. And I think this foundation, and it's something that he alluded to by when Jared Patterson went down, and when Patterson went down, who really was not considered to going to be the starter at that time. When Patterson went down, how they sort of just this draft class, all these guys have sort of just coalesced together, with Tank Dale and now Tank going down. You can just see, man, that this, we'll look back. I think we several years down the road, we're gonna look back at this draft class of 2022 and say 2023 rather, and simply say that, hey, this was the nucleus that turned that put this franchise around, provided nobody screws it up. Okay, the predicate is nobody screws it up. Okay, just they're gonna have to take their lumps. They're going to take some losses, but that's okay. Let them go ahead and let's take it all. But you know what? Let's go ahead and enjoy the process, because sometimes seeing sausage made, sometimes you may not want to eat sausage anymore for the rest of your life. Hey, who knows, man? I know that's the way I was when I finally found out what chitlins are, but anyway, they are good though.
I'll take your word for it. I've never had any and don't intend to, and I don't intend to eat any pickled pig feet either.
Well, that's okay. You don't know what you're missing, man. Come on.
I don't.
Out of East Texas, man. I seen some of the food. I seen some of the food that you pile on your plate. Surely you can appreciate the nice delicacies of chitlins. I know you can. Trust me, I know you can. But anyway, hey man, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and cut you loose, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can get D'Amico up here and get him to playing right. But hey, look here, Eric. Be good, be safe down the road. We'll be talking. I mean, we won't be back in the NRG until December 24th. They're on the road. I think they got New York next week, the Jets next week, and I think the Titans the following week, and then they come home on Christmas Eve for the Cleveland Browns.
So that's going to be a big one, especially if they can win these two on the road. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, man, hey, be careful on the road. I will talk at you later, and we'll be in touch, man. Be careful, man, and appreciate and thank you again.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. Have a good week.
All right, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, folks, I tell you what, as we mentioned earlier, and I got a couple more clips. Hopefully they will play right. Probably most time I've already had D'Amico up here playing, but this is one time, like I say, and the coach will tell you, the players play. We just coach. I mean, we can do all we can to put them in the right proper position to win. But today, in the position, particularly, Derek Stingley, who had been out with hamstring issues that don't came back, and this is his third ball game in a row that he had an interception. In fact, he not only had one interception, he had two interceptions. The second interception was by virtue of Will Anderson's tipping of Russell Wilson pass, and that just that little bit of it, and he was able to look like he jumped the route. Because I can't be candid with you. When I saw it initially, I didn't realize that Will had tipped that ball, but because Russell threw a nice pass, but I thought he had jumped the route real nicely, but because he looked like he had baited Russell on the first interception, like he had laid off, made a spectacular interception on the first one off of Russell Wilson, but then when he came back, I thought he had baited him, but he did lay back. But realistically, Will Anderson had tipped that ball, and so that sort of gave him the impetus when he jumped the route. It sort of looked like, hey, great move, but it was a team effort, by Will Anderson tipping the ball, and then Derek Stingley being able to get in there and make the interception on that. But anyway, before we go, let me see if we run Mr. Ross again, and hopefully everything will go right on this one.
Hello. I'm Ken Ross with the Ken Ross Insurance Agency. There are certain things that are important in our lives: our health, our safety, and our loved ones. With over 40 years of experience, I've seen just how important insurance can be. I value the importance of being a part of my community and being there when they need me. Insurance is important everywhere, but being here in South Texas, it is absolutely essential. From flood, home, auto, and life insurance, let the Ken Ross Agency be your agency of choice.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, we back, folks. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties there. I really apologize. But remember, 281-235-5952. Ken Ross Agency, again, 281-235-5952. He'll probably have insurance for technical difficulties like I've had today, new system and everything, and trying to work out some bugs on the system. But for the most part, it looks like everything is rolling. But again, give Ken Ross a call, the Ken Ross Agency. He's been my agency for low these many years. 281-235-5952. Tell him AD said give him a call, and tell him I tell you to work out him a plan for him, because he'll be able to get it done for you. But it's coming, and basically what we were coming to do, and it's a situation that the Texans. This is a happy situation right now. So as we get ready to get to the close of the program and everything, I appreciate y'all for sticking in there. We've had some technical issues, but that's okay. We'll continue to deal with them, and we'll just move on. But thank y'all for watching. Again, the Houston Texans defeat the Denver Broncos today. They're 7-5. Nobody would have thought they'd have been 7-5 this time of the year. But anyway, 22-17. And also before I leave out of here, and I want to wish the men in this 117th year, the ice cold men of Alpha Phi Alpha. That's tomorrow, the Founders Day. December 4th, 1906, all the men of Alpha Phi Alpha, a happy Founders Day, and continue to hold up the light and keep holding the light high as we celebrate, and as our principles of manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind continue to stand on the rampart and protect those that cannot protect themselves. So, folks, without further ado, this is your man, Adolphus A.D. Moore, with technical difficulties and all, but yet continue to persevere as we get over this hump. Remember, to the men of alphas, guys, ice cold. Let's do it, guys. 06. Let's keep on doing it. But remember, for everybody out there, thank you for Ken Ross, and remember give him a call, 281-235-5952. And as I get ready to wrap it up from NRG Stadium, just want to say thank you again as your Houston Texans defeat the Denver Broncos today. They're 7-5, folks, and getting ready to hit the road for the next 2 weeks. And so the Jets coming up, and then the following week they go to Titans, the former Houston Oilers here, and let's see what happens. Because come home, can they bring a Christmas gift off the road and come home and face the Cleveland Browns? We don't know, but let's face it, that's why they play the games. In the way as Herm Milk would say, that's the reason you play the game, and you play the game to win. So without further ado, ciao, folks. I'm out. And again, final score: Houston Texans 22, the Denver Broncos 17. Ciao. I'm out, folks.